this question of stimulus before, never mind the election, let's talk about stimulus before January, when there could be any change in administration. That is looking doubtful. And the economy is screaming for help wherever we look for it. For instance, new layoffs are mounting. The airlines, we know that there are tens of thousands of jobs that will be furloughed, which will become permanent. Disney, 24,000 jobs. WEF says nearly 1 in 4 small businesses have closed. And the US Census Bureau, which is what Julia was referring to, says 32% of adults say paying bills is difficult. So now, look at Wall Street and the disconnect that's taking place. Just remember what we've just been talking about. Stimulus chaos, Americans who can't pay their bills, and companies going bankrupt, and more to come. Very strange that we've got a NASDAQ up 2%, a Dow up 2%, an S&P up 2%. Mohamed El-Erian is the man to make sense of it all. He even has a new title to go. This is a new title and a nice bit of wood panelling to go with it. Mohamed El-Erian is now the president of Queen's College, Cambridge University. He's returned to an ivory tower from which he is speaking to us today. Congratulations, President, on your new role at Cambridge. A fine distinction too. But please help me understand a market that is up 2% on the one hand, when on the other hand, I'm talking about chaos, confusion, disarray and dysfunction in the US government.
Thank you, Richard. This is the disconnect that we've had for a while, and it's getting worse. You cannot deny that the economic recovery is slowing, and we risk stall speed. You cannot deny that there is complete confusion, if not chaos, on the policy front, but the market is not looking there. The market has been conditioned to expect that policy support will come. And if it doesn't come from the fiscal agency, from Congress, it will come from the central bank, from the Federal Reserve. And that conditioning is so deep, Richard, that you need a major shock. And what's happening in Washington simply isn't enough of a shock.
Good grief. If this isn't enough of a shock, I would hate to see something that does jolt everybody. Because I was looking this morning, the number of small businesses that have failed in America, according to one study, 1 in 7 small businesses have failed. Just walking outside my front door here, a whole block of shops just closed. What then does the economy need? How valid is this call for stimulus now?
Well, first, it is not stimulus, it is relief. And that's a really important distinction, because you're trying to contain the damage. You're trying to stop short-term problems becoming long-term problems. It's one thing if a company has a liquidity problem. If it goes bankrupt, that is permanent in nature. So we have to understand this is about relief, and it's just one of the 4 things that the policymakers have to come up with. And the longer they wait, the more the scarring, the more it's difficult for the economy to pick up. So it's absolutely needed, and right now it's become hostage to political issues.
What worries you now between now and the election? Because obviously the post-election, an entirely different set of considerations will apply. But for the moment, over the next 4 weeks, what's your concern?
First and foremost is the people experiencing massive suffering, massive pain and suffering. It's real, and you see it in the lines outside food banks. Second is that this recovery is losing steam, and we risk even looking at a double dip recession, which would not be a good thing. And then finally, at some point, and I don't know when that point is, the markets can't continue disconnecting from the economy. And if markets come down, that's going to be yet another headwind. So it is really important that policymakers move. Otherwise, you may end up getting the perfect storm with 3 things coming at the same time, which would put us back not months, but years.
since you are in this new elevated role in academia, I feel safe in asking, do you see any merit from what we've seen from the president's negotiating strategy, this idea of stop the negotiations, my negotiators, but I will do I'm open to a standalone on airlines. I'm open to a standalone on $1,200 checks. Do you see any sense in that?
So you can see something where someone goes from a comprehensive response to a policy meal, hoping to get a compromise. You can see, an argument for people saying, you know what, you want to be unpredictable so that the other side is unbalanced. But remember, we're running out of time. I mean, one thing we didn't talk about, suppose you got agreement to move forward. How many days do you have left in the Senate? And you know what? The Senate wants to consider something else, which is much bigger for the parties involved. So the trouble is time is running out. So, this maneuvering may be smart, but at the end of the day, you may run out of time, even if the maneuvering works.
Mohamed El-Erian, just the man we needed to talk to you. Thank you, sir, and congratulations again on starting your new role as president of Queen's College in Cambridge. It's good to see you, sir. Thank you.